Welcome back to the tube. Today is a very exciting day. We had a nice new low weight this morning, so Justin has given us 2 back-to-back high days. We're going to run you through the whole entire day, going to train some upper body. We've got some recovery sessions today as well, and we'll probably do some posing. Come for the ride.
And we are back. Cardio done. We had to venture out to the gym today because somebody needed an elliptical and we tried to use the bike at the same time and it didn't work very well. So we ventured out to the gym, did our cardio. I did a couple of posing rounds, and what do you reckon?
Yeah, he's looking good. Not bad.
Wow. All right. That's cool.
We're getting there.
We're on the right track. So did our cardio. I did some posing rounds. Then we had to just stop in at the grocery store and just pick up a couple of extra items for today because I've got a high day. 2 high days, in fact. Someone does not have a high day. Someone has a low day.
Someone has just had their food cut.
By
full stop.
A substantial amount. So
Thriving.
Absolutely thriving. So today is going to be a very efficient day. So cardio done. We're about to prep some meals. And because Caitlyn is here, I don't have to make my cream of rice this morning, which I'm super excited about. So cream of rice this morning goes up to 120 grams of rice flour. Everything else stays the same. So 60 grams protein, 100 blueberries, 100 raspberries, 30 peanut butter, 40 jam. So that's going to stay the same. We'll do meal 1. Then I'll head to the gym and train upper, which I'm very, very excited about. So upper should be a really good session. Then we're going to go do some therapy. Yeah. So we're going to do like some float tanks, some sauna, things like that, which will be very beneficial, I think, for the both of us. You know, fatigue management is something that we really like to stay on top of in prep. So make sure that we're like ticking all those boxes and covering all those bases as much as possible. Then we'll take you through the rest of our meals for the day. And by the rest of our meals, I mean mostly mine because she doesn't really have any. What are your calories at?
1780.
1780, which at the end of the day isn't like
really not
diabolical. You're a very small individual, but I have 4,000 today.
I also went from 3,000.
So. Well, that's also true. So everything is always relative. Now, when anyone ever talks about their meal plan and their food and their anything to do with bodybuilding, right? It's always personally dependent. It's always the perspective of the individual. So if you've come off high food and 1,700 sounds like it's not too bad for a lot of you people, especially any females that are watching, you got to understand that Caitlyn holds a lot of muscle mass. She burns a lot of calories and is used to eating considerably more amounts of food than that. So
she's going to be hungry, but that's fine.
That's so fine.
So fine.
It's so fine.
It's so fine.
What's your meal 1?
Cream of rice.
Cream of rice? Oh, you do the Good Rice Co. though. So Caitlyn does the Good Society creamy rice, which is already flavored. That doesn't have protein in it, does it? No. So it's just flavored rice.
I have a side of chicken with that.
Yum.
It's actually, it's elite.
And that's about it. That's our day today. So we're going to get kind of stuck into that. We'll take you through our meals sort of as we're eating them, I think, rather than kind of just bombarding you all at once. We'll get some training done. We'll do some posing stuff. Caitlyn's going to go through some posing rounds as well. And I'll call a spade a spade. She looks fucking incredible. I mean, I look okay, but she looks fucking incredible. So we'll do some posing rounds today and we'll go from there, I think. What do the people do next? You don't have a mic on.
Oh, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you for training?
Yeah.
Sure. Peace. Welcome back to the tube. Mic's on. Thank God for that. After the debauchery of this morning. Is that a word? Debauchery? I don't know. The debacle. So we've had a bit of an interesting morning. Had a bit of a mishap with the motorbike. That's fine. We will rebuild. But we're here. Vibes are high. Feeling good. I'm feeling, as Caitlyn would say, all right, okay. But full upper session today. So party pump things. So we do a pull down, a row, an incline press, a fly, a buy, a try. Full party pump. No, gym is pretty pumping today. Got some bangers playing. We're feeling good. Gonna be a good party pump. That's about it. That's all I got for you. Let's get after it. Always like to do just a little bit of like a stretch pull through before we pull down. No working sets. I just like to stretch and feel the lats. Kind of open them up a little bit. Get some blood flow in there. And then we'll work through this like neutral grip lat pull down here. The mag grips I'm a big fan of. Removes all the grip strength out of it, or most of the grip strength out of it. Really allows us to drive those elbows down in a neutral grip rather than being like internally or externally rotated. So done a couple of feeders here. So first top set. Now, Justin sent me a check-in this morning and gave me a pretty firm talking to, respectfully, of course. Told me to check my ego at the door and to not even remotely attempt anything numbers-wise more than I've done in the past couple of weeks. Obviously, 3 to 4 weeks out now. We're obviously not building any tissue. We don't want to hurt ourselves. There's literally the risk versus reward over hitting new numbers is obsolete. And we're aiming for total volume. So he got his calculator out and became a mathematician in my check-in. Sort of communicated some numbers to me from a training standpoint, how, less reps at a higher load in this sort of part of prep is not even remotely advantageous. So all the numbers that we hit last week will be the exact same that we hit this week. So nothing too exciting from a training standpoint, but we still want to make sure that our execution and our performance is like exactly where it needs to be. You want to say hi to the tube, bro? I can see you smiling. Say what's up.
Hey, boys.
Say what's up. You won't be able to see it. It's in the mic, but.
Yo, are we going to be subbing to matheuorchard today? Go hit that sub button.
My boy. What a G. Yeah, nice. It's toasty in here. Hoodie's coming off real quick, which is nice because it's a good fit. Speaking of good fits, shirts are on their way. So the Shopify page is updated, ready to go. Caitlyn's handled all of that. So Shopify page is ready to go. Shirts are being made. Pre-orders are literally just around the corner. So we're going to do an initial release. I've ordered a bunch of shirts in a bunch of different sizes. We're going to do an initial release. Once they're sold out, we'll do a pre-order. So like a secondary release. So rather than me shipping those immediately, they'll kind of like be made to order. So the first lot of shirts will be sort of almost like a 48-hour sort of turnaround. And then the second lot of shirts will probably be like a week and a half maybe, because they'll be custom made to order. But I'm really hyped about these shirts. The quality is going to be A1. The sizing is going to be really good. They won't be ridiculously expensive. I'm not looking to make money off any of these shirts. I just want to get some good quality promo shirts out there. So if you want to support, stay tuned. There will be some shirts available very, very soon. And then depending on how this release goes, I'm thinking of doing a secondary shirt, bringing back the Pink Gang shirts, maybe a hoodie, maybe some socks whilst we're at it too. So I'm excited. Shit's moving. Feel that stretch. And then row. Keeping that elbow nice and tucked. Squeezing through. Oh yeah. Feels good. So you can sort of see with that movement, I'm getting a nice big stretch forward in a neutral grip. So I'm not like opening up and stretching through the teres major. I'm staying neutral, stretching through the lat. And then as we're rowing, rotating a little bit, keeping that elbow tucked in, squeezing it by the lat here, and then getting that extra little crunch to really hit that lower lat portion. So nice big stretch, nice big squeeze through the lats. So first movement, obviously in a neutral grip, we're still hitting like a lat portion, but it's a little bit more mid-back. Whereas in the secondary movement, this one here, we're able to really lock in, isolate, and squeeze blood into that really low lat there, giving that nice fuller look. So when we pose after this, you'll be able to see that fullness in the back, rather than having just like really good parts of your back. We want the back to be super complete, coming into a nice tapered waist. So that's the goal. Back portion done. Moving on to the chest portion of upper. Now I hit this for 11 last week. And like I said, under strict instructions not to overdo that. So 10 or 11 here is the goal. With some decent form. No more, no less. Make sure we're nice and braced. Make sure we're stable. Stability is the key. Ten, no more, no less. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah. So the first set, I definitely had it a little bit too low to high. I put a little bit of stress on my forearm, kind of a little bit of a shoulder impingement. So just changing the angles and the way that I'm sort of moving the weight from point A to point B changes the area of the chest that we're focusing on, and then takes some load and tension off things like forearm, brachialis, front delt. So when we're talking about the most efficient way to perform a movement, the way that you move the heaviest load isn't always the most efficient way to target a muscle group. So reducing the weight slightly, changing the angle slightly, changing the direction of the elbow path and the weight path really kind of makes the movement as efficient as possible. And that second set, even though it wasn't as heavy a load, the contraction and the tension that I was able to get on the areas of the chest that I'm trying to focus on was much more substantial. So feeder set here for biceps. It's like a cable, kind of like a drag curl. So we're not stepping back into the machine and doing a front raise curl here. We're kind of stepping forward, letting the weight stretch the bicep here. So we're working from a stretch function. And then we're keeping our elbows kind of behind and then dragging, staying in that supinated position the entire time. Stretch and then dragging. Cool. So we'll do a few working, what? So we'll do a couple of working sets there, and then we'll finish with Justin's favorite, the overhead tricep extension with some lengthened partials in there as well. So really trying to hit that tricep, bicep, all the good shit. That is definitely too light, but one thing I've noticed about this movement specifically is like you hit fatigue like really, really quickly, especially at the end of a session. Obviously we've done a lot of volume already. It's a full upper session as well, so the entire upper is like really starting to hit exhaustion point. So although that feels really, really comfortable and really, really easy, especially moving into like the lengthened bias partials, we kind of want to be, as Justin says, keep our ego at check, think about how we're moving the weight, perform the movement correctly, so then when we do hit those partials, we're not looking at hurting ourselves, especially towards the end of a session. We want to make sure that the tension is in the muscle and not in like your ligaments and tendons. You're not just stretching those out. We're actually putting the tension in the muscle, which is what we want to create a stimulus through. Everything is ridiculous. So we leave for Tampa in 3 weeks, and then we compete in 4. This is her like really, really flat too. So like no food, no carbs. And she hasn't trained today either. Yeah. She only trains 3 days a week. She hasn't trained today. Absolutely insanity. Go front relaxed. Nice. Quarter turn. Like waist is like disappeared. Quarter turn. Nice. Hold it. Quarter turn to the right. Nice. Yep. Glutes on. Quarter turn. And good. Front double. Nice. Hold it. Good. Quarter turn. I mean, there. Side chest. Fuck. Glutes. Good. Good. Hold. Awesome. And face the rear. Back double. Okay. Rear glute spread. Yeah, perfect, bro. Good. Any commentary? And ab and thigh. Good. Vacuum's gotten a lot deeper. Nice. And favorite classic? Fuck, that's a shot. Glutes. Jesus Christ. Fucking wide. Dumb. Yes, sir. That is a wrap on posing and training. We need to go home, get a meal in, and then get to recovery ASAP. So, quad stomp. There we go. I moved the chicken around for 6 seconds, which is proof that I did something in the kitchen today.
Good job, babe.
Thank you. All right, back home, post-workout time before we head off to recovery. I have 250 grams of chicken breast, 100 grams of raw weight jasmine rice, 75 grams of beetroot, 50 grams of dates, and 30 grams of barbecue sauce. Caitlyn has
200 potato,
200 potato,
120 chicken, 100 grams of zucchini. It's a new meal plan. I don't really know. I have not a lot of food. I have 200 calories of a meal. So
Gross. So that is our post-workout. And then we will head off to recovery. We'll do sauna first, then magnesium bath, and then come home for what will be my meal 3. Meals going in, happy days, feeling good. No, I felt like really good for about 85% of that session, and then fell in a bit of a heap and had enough, to be honest with you. But we don't sugarcoat shit around here.
Prep.
That's prep. So
you got to go through this shit.
yeah, and I think at the end of the day, if we can be self-aware and minimize kind of that negative self-doubt and mental toughness, then
The thing is, it's how you move through it.
that's true.
So as long as you're not sitting in that shit for fucking days, it's so fun to have those moments. Like, you're going to have those moments. Prep is not easy. It's not supposed to be. Otherwise, everyone would fucking do it. And you just got to feel it, go through the motions, understand why, be self-aware enough to know that you need to pull yourself out of it, and check in with your support people. That's what you need to do.
Mic drop. Fucking boom.
That's right.
On that note, we're going to get this meal in, feel a little bit better about ourselves. I'm going to get out of the way because I'm not supposed to be in the kitchen. I'm going to get out of the way. We're going to get some food in, and then we're going to go get some recovery done. So we out.
See you then.
Deuces. And that's how I feel right now. I am zenned out of my brain. The way that I think both of our bodies needed that.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So good.
And that is essentially a day in the life of an IFBB Classic Physique and Wellness Pro, 4 weeks out from the Tampa Pro. So currently making my meal 3, which I said earlier was the crunchy nut, banana, almond milk, maple syrup, and then I'll do the chicken and sweet chili separate. Your next meal is
The same as meal 3.
the exact same as meal 3.
Potato, zucchini, chicken. And that's it.
That's it. And then my last meal later tonight will be 250 beef mince, 200 veggies, 100 rice, 122 pineapple, and 30 grams of sweet chili. So I'll put all of my calories, macros, everything for the day just here, right in front of Caitlyn's face. And then we'll put all your macros, calories, everything in front of my face. But that's it. That's us done. So training, eating, recovery, repeat.
Yep.
That's all we do. Rinse and repeat.
Posing, stepping.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, we've probably got like 3,000 or 4,000 steps left to get. So we'll go for a little digestion walk after this meal.
Yeah.
You've got some client check-ins to go through. I'm going to edit this video and we'll get this up tonight. And then I've got some client check-ins to go through as well. And that's it.
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
We're done.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So hope you enjoyed it. This is probably going to be a bit of a longer video, but I think there's a lot of quality in there to sort of take from it. So that's a wrap. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.